life into your hands every time you hit the road.
Now, we've had a driving test here in the UK for the past 80 years, and Arthur Smith has tracked down the very first person to take it. Well, nearly.
If there is one piece of advice I would offer learners, it is don't be nervous. Driving tests have one object, to make our roads safe, and the examination is not an inquisition.
It's different now, but when the driving test was made compulsory 80 years ago on June the 1st, 1935, road safety was, well, there wasn't any really. At the time, the Times called it genuine slaughter. More than 6,000 were killed in that single year, and things did look a little chaotic.
Coming from a side turning without stopping is as bad as driving with your eyes closed. It's criminal.
The test was a turning point. After 46 million of them, the roads are safer. The latest death toll for 2013 is just over 1,700. Still appalling, but less than a third of what it was. And that's even though the amount of vehicles on the road in 1935, 2.4 million, has been overtaken 13 times by the number driving around today. But Rosie's finding it expensive. £1,200 for the 45 hours she'll spend with instructors, plus £25 for the theory test and £62 for the practical. The original test cost £7 and £6. About £17 in today's money. So Rosie faces an increase in real terms of over 500%. But who was the first person to take it? Official government records suggest it was a Mr. Bean, honestly. But nothing's known of this original Mr. Bean. Could it be that wasn't his real name? Yes, because I have here the original certificate, and it's not an N, it's an R. Mr. Beere. Mr. Beere had a son, and here in Pewsey in Wiltshire, I think I may have found him.
Yes, he's the man, Ronald Eric Lawrence Beere.
Excellent.
My father worked in the aviation business, and this picture here, my father's on the left, shows a little aeroplane that he owned himself. Here I am, aged about 14 months perhaps. George must be about 80. I won't say how old I am. And then my father joined the British School of Motoring, where he took the first driving test. My mother used to tell me that she thought it was a bit of a fiddle because he was working for them.
80 years exactly after Ronald Beere sat the test, we thought his son would like to resit it in a vintage Austin 7.
Now, Mr. Beere, I'm going to be looking for courteous use of the highway with a smooth start. A good start increases the possibility of a good finish.
I will do my best.
If you're going to overtake, what should you do?
I should hoot my horn.
Hand signals were of huge importance in the 1930s. 1/3 of the 18-page highway code was devoted to them.
What would you be looking out for on the roads like this?
Well, traffic coming up from a turning, watch for traffic approaching me, and also look behind so I can see traffic that may be following me. I think I've just failed.
Well, the car was seen as a liberating factor for many families after years of depression. Those that could afford it would get a car, they'd move out to the suburbs, they'd visit the countryside and enjoy that freedom. Half of the deaths were pedestrians, and one of the car magazines actually called it a total folly that pedestrians had the audacity to get in the way of cars. So there was early road rage between drivers, pedestrians and cyclists.
I'm pleased, Mr. Beere, to tell you that you've passed. The manoeuvres were good and signals well timed.
Thank you. Well, hey!
I find a simpler way to keep safe on the roads is not to take the test at all. I can't drive, and I never will.
I can't believe Arthur kept that